Recently, DC released a teaser introducing the new Superman, David Corenswet, in the iconic role. But did you know there's another story tied to Superman? One that involves an actor who was once called Hollywood's unluckiest man? That actor is none other than Henry Cavill. How did he erase the unluckiest man tag and rise to become the beacon of hope for millions as Superman? Let's take a closer look at Henry's journey. Born on May 5, 1983, in St. Helier, Jersey, Henry William Dalgleish Cavill came into the world. His father, Cullen Cavill, worked as a stockbroker, and his mother, Mary Ann, was a secretary at a bank. At the age of 12, Henry enrolled in Stowe School, a prestigious boarding school in England. It was there that a single encounter changed his life forever. In 2000, Hollywood legend Russell Crowe visited the school to shoot for Proof of Life. Henry, eager to make an impression, gathered his courage and approached Russell. Instead of treating him like just another fan, Russell spoke to him as a fellow student and shared valuable advice about acting. From that moment on, Henry knew what he had to do. He was going to become an actor. But coming from a small island like Jersey, moving to London was not easy. The big city was tough, and every day, Henry would go out hoping for a big break, only to return with the sting of rejection. Yet, he didn't give up. Persistence was in his blood. Then, an opportunity came up. An Italian crime thriller called Laguna was being made, and the director, Dennis Barry, was looking for fresh faces. Henry auditioned, and to his surprise, the director saw something special in him. This was his first big break. Although Laguna didn't make a huge splash, it did get Henry noticed in the industry. Henry thought his days of struggling were behind him, but fate had other plans. After his debut movie, he was more confident than ever that a big role would come his way. And who wouldn't expect that when you're as handsome as Henry? But luck wasn't on his side. In 2005, when the auditions for the iconic James Bond role began for Casino Royale, Henry was full of confidence. His British charm, his looks, everything was perfect. In fact, director Martin Campbell was impressed. But in a twist of fate, he told Henry, "You're great, but you're just a bit too young. We need a more mature Bond." The role, of course, went to Daniel Craig, but that wasn't the end of the road. Soon after, Stephenie Meyer, the author of Twilight, was casting for the role of Edward Cullen. Henry's sharp features and brooding personality seemed perfect for the role, but fate once again had other ideas. Henry Cavill looked like the perfect choice for the role of Edward Cullen. His sharp features and intense presence made him a fan favorite. Even Twilight author Stephenie Meyer thought he was ideal. But just before the film began, she said, "You're great, Henry, but you look a bit too mature for the part." And just like that, the role went to Robert Pattinson. Twilight made Pattinson a global superstar overnight, and Henry left with yet another missed opportunity and a growing list of almosts. But the story doesn't end there. When Christopher Nolan began casting for Batman in his Dark Knight trilogy, Henry was shortlisted for Bruce Wayne. He had the polished charm and the gritty depth needed for the character. But in the end, Nolan picked Christian Bale. Another dream? Crushed. Then came Superman Returns in 2006. Henry showed up, fully prepared, with the charm and physique perfect for the Man of Steel. But the role went to Brandon Routh. One more rejection. Even for Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Henry auditioned for the role of Cedric Diggory. And guess what? That too went to Robert Pattinson. Again? Now it's not like Henry wasn't working. He did almost 10 films during that time, like The Count of Monte Cristo, Hellraiser, and Immortals. But the roles were small, and none of them gave him the spotlight he deserved. Still, Henry never gave up. He kept pushing, holding on to one hope. Maybe the next audition will change everything. And finally, fate gave up before he did. After the massive success of Iron Man in 2008, the Marvel Universe exploded. DC didn't want to be left behind. So in 2011, they decided to reboot Superman. This huge responsibility was given to director Zack Snyder. He looked at several actors, Matthew Good, Joe Manganiello, Armie Hammer, but nothing clicked. Then one day, Snyder started watching old audition tapes from the 2006 Superman auditions. And there it was, a dusty tape featuring Henry Cavill. The moment Zack watched it, he knew. This is our Superman! At first, even the DC team was unsure. Why bet on someone who'd been rejected before? But when Henry gave his new screen test in 2011, everyone agreed they'd found their Superman. To transform for the role, Henry trained with Hollywood's top fitness coach, Mark Twight. He studied Superman's psychology, his purpose, his pain. He didn't just look the part, he became it. To truly become Superman, Henry didn't just build muscles. He built a persona that reflected both strength and kindness. And when Man of Steel hit the screens, Henry Cavill was no longer just an actor. He became a global icon. Critics may have had mixed opinions about the movie itself, but when it came to Henry's intense performance, deep emotions, and powerful presence, almost everyone agreed he was Superman. After the success of Man of Steel, Henry finally felt like his fate had taken a turn for the better. Then came 2016's Batman v Superman, a bold attempt to expand the DC Extended Universe. The hype was unreal, but when the film dropped, critics again had mixed reactions. Many felt the story was too dark, too over the top. I mean, come on, a villain kidnapping someone's mom? Even old Bollywood movies stopped using that plotline years ago. To some, the film felt like Zack Snyder's version of Karan Arjun. But even then, Henry's performance stood tall, flawless, and committed. Then came 2017, and with it, Justice League. A film that was supposed to bring all of DC's heroes together. But behind the scenes, things were messy. Director Zack Snyder had to step away due to a personal tragedy. Joss Whedon stepped in to finish the movie. The result? A film that didn't know what it wanted to be. Not fully serious, not truly funny, just confused. And then came the mustache drama. While doing reshoots for Justice League, Henry was also shooting Mission Impossible Fallout, where he had to keep a mustache. Whedon asked him to shave it off, but Mission Impossible producers said no, so the team used CGI to erase it, and it looked terrible. Fans noticed it instantly. It turned into a meme fest. Henry started to question, is Superman really all there is for me? And in 2019, he made a move that changed everything. He stepped into a new universe, as Geralt of Rivia in The Witcher. And just like that, he wasn't just a superhero anymore. He became a fantasy legend. But not everyone understood why a major Hollywood actor would shift to streaming. Rumors started swirling. Is Henry's career fading? And then came Deadpool and Wolverine in 2024, and boom! All those doubts vanished. Henry Cavill appeared in a villainous role and absolutely owned the screen. If you've seen that movie in theaters, you know what I'm talking about. That moment made it clear. Wolverine's legacy is now in Henry Cavill's hands. Fans are beyond excited to see how he brings this iconic character to life. And as for Superman, one question remains. Can David Corenswet live up to the legacy Henry Cavill created? Time will tell. But one thing's for sure. Henry Cavill will always be remembered as the actor who proved that even when luck is never on your side, a real hero never quits. This isn't just Henry's story. It's a story for all of us who dare to dream, who stumble, but never stop getting back up? So if you've ever fallen and still had the courage to rise, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts about Henry Cavill in the comments below. See you in the next video. Till then, take care, stay strong, and stay inspired.